everybody, the Stranglehold Podcast Christmas Edition. My partner as usual, Chris Paradice, in the house. And of course, Father Christmas himself, the man in red.
Mr.
Winter himself. He is Santa Claus, that's right. And of course, yes. I see some nice representation there.
Yes.
Santa Claus is holding the Stranglehold Championship.
And right beside him, he has got in his reach the King of Promos Voice of Honor Championship. I don't know if you guys can see it in the shot, but I cannot adjust it. But
I can.
Absolutely.
Look at that beautiful thing.
That's right.
So I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a hell of a month already.
It has.
And Christmas,
especially for me.
Christmas is right around the corner, man. So I got to ask you 100%, what is your elves up to, man? What is the #1 toy on the list this year?
Believe it or not, this crazy little thing called an LOL doll.
LOL, surprise,
the LOL doll.
My daughter loves them. I don't know why. I don't know where she heard about them.
Yeah, my nieces have been talking about this thing non-stop. It's just like I can't get enough of this LOL.
3 years straight. No joke, gentlemen.
So Santa Claus, I got a little bit of beef with you, man. I mean, you've been around for a while. When I was 11, I kept asking for a dirt bike. I never got one, man. Was I on the bad boy list?
Well, like I spoke to your children earlier, you had me speak to your children.
Absolutely, I did.
Like I said, certain things the elves can only make, and then the rest of it we're like UPS. The toy places send it to us, and because they want a good marketing thing going on, they have Santa deliver their presents to the children of the world.
And there was something else that I always asked Santa for. It didn't matter if I was here or there. I always asked Santa for a wrestling belt.
A wrestling belt.
A wrestling belt. And you never gave me one, man. So I had to come up and create one, such as you're holding. And now that you have one, don't you think it's a good idea for all the little boys and girls to go shopping at Paradise Customs?
Yes, I do. Considering we can't manufacture this stuff at the North Pole. Now we can get you those little styrofoam belts with the Velcro if you want that. In plastic, but we can't get you none of
Nobody
this.
wants that. They only want top quality merchandise. And you see it here first, folks, at Paradise Customs.
Alright, so I didn't mean to interrupt. Thank you, Santa, for being a good sport about that. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well, what's next on the bucket list, man?
Well, Santa, did you know that Santa is probably one of the world's biggest wrestling fans?
I love pro wrestling.
Judging by talking to you for the few moments I've spoken to you, you seriously strike me as a big Vader fan. Is that one of your favorites?
Vader was one of my favorite wrestlers in the 90s.
He was a good man.
God rest his soul. He's no longer with us. If I had to give one of my favorite big Vader matches, I would have to say it would have been against Stan Hansen,
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
where he lost his eye.
Yes.
Very much.
Very brutal, very hard hitting, but that's how Santa likes it.
Which is why you're holding that belt right there.
Stranglehold World Championship right here, ladies and gentlemen.
So, what other type of wrestling matches do you like? Obviously, you like the gory ones. I mean, based on that one.
Right.
I wouldn't think Santa would be that way.
Not at all, man. Not at all. But I haven't met Mrs. Claus either. I hope you let me introduce me to her pretty soon. But with that being said, man, what's some of your other favorite matches?
Good question. One of my, believe it or not, I'm an avid fan of The Undertaker, who just finished his WWE career after 30 years this past month. Very sad to see him go, but you know, he can't be like Santa Claus and live forever and do what he does. But even though time made it seem like he could, you know, but again, he's not immortal like Santa.
Speaking of immortality, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mr.
You're
Clark,
fine.
but talking about immortality, today's roster, be it the WWE or be it AEW or any wrestling promotion out there, who do you see as being the next generation of legends, the next Immortals?
If I honestly had to say so, and if I'm speaking on a national and a local basis,
Yes.
national, I would most definitely have to say along the lines, and a lot of people would be kind of weird to hear me say this, I'm a huge fan of Drew McIntyre. I see a lot of potential in that young man. A lot of courageous moments that I would have never seen in my lifetime.
Right.
Just a lot of in-depth stuff that he does, and I'm a huge fan of the Claymore kick. Love that move. Love the match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And on a local level, if I had to say so, Santa hasn't really paid attention an awful lot to the local scene, but if I had to give a go-ahead on this, and even though it might be an unpopular opinion with some folks, considering, you know, a local thing, but I've really gotten into this young man who goes all around the state of Georgia, and he's appeared on AEW. Griff Garrison.
Griff Garrison. Okay.
I really like him. He seems to have a good body of work to him.
Okay. Griff Garrison. All right.
I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
I've heard his name. I'm sorry to say I have not followed most of his work, but I will be taking a look at this young man.
Is there anybody else on the local scene that you happen to see in this part of the world? Of course, we're broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Is there anybody on the Atlanta scene that you see that you think could go?
Big fan of the Big Effin' Deal Jeter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Close personal friends with a Georgia legend by the name of Leatherface.
Nice.
Very close friends.
I must say, Leatherface is one of my all-time favorites.
Very close. He's been a naughty boy most of his life.
Yes, he has. And of course, he will be a future Stranglehold inductee.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I met him outside of the business. I met him while he was doing his daily job. Very nice guy. Gave me tickets to the show. It was really cool, man.
Absolutely.
Did he scare you with his chainsaw?
He didn't have a chainsaw. He had a hammer
Oh.
and a paintbrush. It was really
Matter of
cool.
fact, did you know that this is also the birth month of Leatherface?
Really?
So, brother, if I didn't tell you happy birthday, hats off to you. Hope it was great. Hope you have a good Christmas. We'll be seeing you
Merry
soon.
Christmas from Santa, Leatherface.
That's
Be
right.
a good boy.
Or be good at it, actually.
There you go.
But if there's any more, I would have to say really good friend of mine who recently returned to the ring after a nearly if I'm not mistaken, a year. Insane Lane, very, very good. You said I like it hardcore and gory.
Insane Lane is one of the foremost deathmatch wrestlers out there, that's for sure.
Very, very good friend of mine, and I could tell you some stories back in the day when Santa used to hang out with Insane Lane, but that's for neither here or there.
Agreed.
All right, so on a national level, man, tell us. We talked about the Vader match. We talked a couple other. You said Drew McIntyre. If you could pinpoint your favorite match of all time, even if you have to do a top three, because I know I couldn't do a number one favorite match. Could you give us your top three favorite matches of all time, whether it be local, national, to a higher audience, let's say WWF, WWE, WCW type
I
thing?
can. I would like to recollect back to Survivor Series 1994. It was in at the Freeman Coliseum in Texas. The Undertaker faced Yokozuna in the main event match. It was a return match from that year's Royal Rumble casket match. It was Chuck Norris, Walker, Texas Ranger. He was the special enforcer to ensure that nobody would come down and cause a melee and destruction to the Undertaker as they did at the Royal Rumble. And I honestly have to say, for a big man, I was very intrigued with that match. Yokozuna to have been at the 600-pound mark at that time, you never saw a man move around like that. So that's my number three match. Number two, I would have to most definitely say, 2 years later, 96, you have Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12 in the 1 hour Iron Man match for the World Wrestling Federation title.
Yes, sir.
That match is what got me hooked.
I agree 100%. My
That
favorite
was a very
match
good
ever.
match.
I loved that match. Ever since then I fell in love with the theatrics of The Undertaker. You know, at the time he scared the living daylights out of me, but, you know, I couldn't help but keep watching the TV screen. And then finally, my number one pick of all time, and I don't think this match could ever be duplicated or ever recreated. Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania 28. The Undertaker and Triple H, end of an era.
That was a great match.
It was.
But the way you kept building up to that, man, I kept hoping, and I was hoping because you're so gory and because you're into the other side of wrestling there, I was hoping you were going to say Survivor Series 97. The Montreal Screwjob.
Oh, yes.
I was hoping, because that's one of my favorite matches, man.
You're just looking to get Santa popped, aren't you?
I was hoping, the way you kept building up to it, man, I was hoping that was going to come out of your mouth.
Well, we all know that Chris Paradise is a huge Shawn Michaels guy.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Chris
And
Paradise.
the only person that he likes more than Shawn Michaels is Sting.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, oh my God, have you kept up with AEW?
Of course.
He's back.
Oh, yes, and larger than life.
Now, The Undertaker retires, Sting comes back.
Where does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense at all, man. It doesn't make sense at all. I think you should go blow some of your magic dust on everybody.
Now, Santa,
come back.
You were telling me on the way over here that your dream match was to see The Undertaker and Sting one time. A one-off.
I would. Honestly, I think it would have done a lot better maybe 10 to 15 years ago.
Agreed.
You know, I'm always an Undertaker fan.
And I do believe you gave Mr. McMahon coal in his stocking for not listening to you.
I did.
So
Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
if you were to book the match, because we all know, you know, there's a little bit of kayfabe and everything. So if you were to book the match between those two participants, where would you book it at? What kind of match would it be, and who would you put over?
Whoa.
You just stumped Santa Claus.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I did it. I made him speak.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
recreate Starrcade, but make it a very memorable event leading up to this main event. Bring everything you got. Vince McMahon, if you're listening,
You're right.
bring everything that you
listen.
can. Make the show packed and long. You know, that's what fans like now. I've seen a 4-hour wrestling card and not one fan moved to go pee. But I would have the match. I would make it a match that's familiar to both of them. It seems to both of them have an intertwining to the dark side, so to speak. It's hear me out. They both seem to have a dark logic to one another.
Absolutely.
The cameraman here, Mr. Gavin, he has told us of a match that he has dreamed that he would like to see.
That's even on his
It's
wish
called,
list. Yeah.
it's called a funeral match.
Whoa.
And let me explain it. Let
Yeah,
me
come
take
on,
it from
camera.
here.
We got to hear this. Come on. Please elaborate for the folks here.
Yeah, I'm
Ladies
listening
and
to
gentlemen, Gavin Campbell.
So,
You know what? Why not?
Big $1 million producer. Go ahead. Sit on
There you
Sam's
go.
lap and tell him about this funeral match. That's what I'm
so
talking
here's
about.
how
right
it
now.
goes. It's like a 3 stages hell, but it consists of a casket match, a last ride match, and a buried alive match. You score points. You put your opponent in the casket. And then you put him to the hearse. And then you put him in there. Now, see, you can easily... So, the first opponent puts him in the casket. Okay, he scored a point. But, at the same time, he can revive if he has enough, you know,
Stamina.
a second wind. He can also beat his opponent down, put him in the casket, and now he's still in the lead. You know, it's even now. By
So you could even have the other person play possum in the casket, come out, beat the other guy down, throw him out of the casket, and then carry him to the burial site.
yes.
Yes.
For a double his pleasure points, right?
Yes, but it all ends
like it.
at the graveside.
And it all ends right there. Whoever gets sent to the grave.
Now, mind you, this is all strictly fantasy, ladies.
Of
and
course,
gentlemen.
of course.
Now I'm thinking maybe
Thank you, Gavin.
2022, that gives us a whole year to plan that out. Stranglehold Championship Wrestling, Mike could have one of those matches.
Well, it seems that Chris
Maybe.
Paradise here has added to the wish list for 2022. And now I'm compelled to say, stay tuned.
So let's get back
Let's do that.
to the match.
Very good.
Where would you put it at? Like, you said Starrcade.
Starrcade.
Typically, Starrcade was broadcast from Greensboro, Greensboro, South Carolina, right?
Greensboro, North
It
Carolina.
was North Carolina?
Yes.
Always have it in the place of origin.
Alright, so it was a small arena there. And you choose those two to go against each other. Who'd you put over?
That is actually where you're going to have me stumped.
Now hold on. Hold on. I'm going to step in on this one, Sam. Okay, you're in Greensboro, North Carolina, right? A sold out arena. A funeral match. The Icon of Sting versus the Phenom, the Undertaker. Now, you figure if you're in North Carolina, at Greensboro, you would almost have to go with Sting on this one.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, he's
You
going to
would
be there
have to, because in that part of the world, that's you know.
Understandable.
Now, however, if we were in the Dallas Sportatorium, I'm sorry, Sting, but the Undertaker would have to rule the day.
Absolutely. Now, throw a curveball in there.
All right.
Mutual ground. All right. Let's say that they put Starrcade in New York,
Ooh.
and let's say the Manhattan
Madison's-
Center.
Okay.
Right. Let's say the Manhattan Center or whatever he was saying. over
Madison Square
there.
Garden.
Madison Square Garden. would be
Okay,
perfect,
Madison
too.
Square Garden. Well, here's
All
the
right.
thing with that.
So that's a house that the Undertaker built. But Sting is very popular there. Very,
Wait a
very.
minute. Madison Square Garden's a place that Vince McMahon built.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, honestly.
But
I don't know, Sam. What's your take on that?
I honestly have to say, Taker.
all right,
In Madison Square Garden, yes.
What if we did it at Mania? Mania and 100% neutral ground. Taker's from Texas. Sting has a place in Texas, but he's more from California. Let's say you put him in Nevada, Las Vegas, perfect.
Or literally where Death
Perfect.
Valley is.
Yeah.
But it's at Mania.
Let's say Mania goes to Las Vegas. 'Cause, yeah.
If you went back in time, man, that would be the perfect, excuse my language, it'd be the perfect time for Taker to lose. Brock Lesnar he didn't have to go over. Everybody respected Lesnar. If Sting would have took that place, man, would it have been so heartfelt? Or would people still be mad? Or
I don't think people would have been mad.
I would have still been watching because I literally stopped.
Because that would have been the immovable object meets the irresistible force. And that would have been the true showcase of the Immortals right there.
Absolutely. So I didn't mean to stump you, saying I apologize. I know you got a busy week coming up.
But at least we illuminate some things for you, right, Sam?
Oh yes.
So in your free time, what's your favorite wrestling show to watch?
Stuff like.
All right, here's an easier question for you. Going into the second year of AEW, are they a wrestling company or a t-shirt company?
Oh well, if I had to go in that direction, hey, and it's gonna sound like Santa's throwing some blows here, so I would honestly have to say that it is a t-shirt company. You're bringing in all the guys from a show that you basically slanderize all the time.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Here's an even better one. Do we think that AEW is truly the second coming of World Championship Wrestling?
Not at all. Not for me. What about you, Santa?
You hear people say it because Sting popped up, but you know you can.
Because you have the offspring of Dusty Rhodes.
And of course you have Cody there. You have Brian Pillman Jr. You know.
And you have Jericho.
Chris Jericho. And then of course you have Dustin Rhodes.
So my favorite guy to watch over there, believe it or not, is Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy. People say Griff Garrison looks a lot like Jungle Boy.
Yeah, I like Jungle Boy, man. He's I grew up a 90210 fan. I'm sure you know that, Sam. But yeah, so that is the son of Luke Perry. So that's really cool, man. That he became
Luke Perry, the actor.
Luke Perry, the
Jungle
actor.
Boy's father?
Yes.
Is Jungle Boy's father.
Yes, the guy who played Dylan.
Oh,
How about that?
So, huge fan of his, man. Huge fan. So with that being said, what's next on the list?
Okay, since you're holding my belt there, who would you like to see challenge the Extreme Phenom for the World Heavyweight title at MomoCon?
Oh, me. Well,
What's on Santa's wish list?
Extreme Phenoms. Opponent, Extreme Phenoms
See what
opponent.
we got in the hat.
If I would have to choose anyone that I would like to see him face, it would most definitely, up until a few weeks ago, and I would like to give a heartfelt condolence to the Eric family. I would have, as a person of interest, I would have loved to have seen the late Colt 45.
Oh yes, agreed. Colt was one of a kind. He was definitely the future of this business.
They both have a very...
Let's talk about something. Now we're talking about throwing blows. Now everybody knows I have a very personal history with one Sabu. But we also know that Sabu came off very harshly in making remarks on the death of Colt 45, which angered not only his former tag team partner Terry Houston, but also Belton Creedmoor. So, my thing is, who would you pick as Sabu's tag team partner at Royal Blood 2 in a steel cage tag team match. On one side you have Terry Houston, Belton Creedmoor. On the other side you have Sabu and a partner. Who would you choose to be on the same side of the ring as Sabu to face the wrath of Terry Houston and Belton Creedmoor?
If I had to choose, it would most definitely have to be
I hope everybody's listening. If you got any suggestions, definitely.
if I had to say, it would probably have to be Sandman.
The
Yes.
Sandman. So
Yes.
you heard it here, folks. Santa's choice of opponent, or choice of partner for Sabu and opponent for Terry Houston, Belton Creedmoor, Royal Blood 2, should be the Sandman. Well, looks like I have my work cut out for me.
I think it'd be an awesome matchup, man. But Santa, I know you got a busy schedule. I know you got to deliver a lot of Christmas presents. But I want to tell you the number one thing on our wish list for 2021.
Oh, yes.
And if you could just sprinkle some magic dust out there and make it happen, we want the power plant.
Yes, we do.
We want
You
the power
have
plant.
seen our videos.
I have.
Could you imagine coming to Paradise Customs inside the
former
inside
WCW Power
the
Plant.
power plant, man? We could be like your brand new elves, making wrestling belts, wrestling gear, have wrestling going on one side.
Bring out wishes that I couldn't fulfill.
T-shirts.
And then train the
DVDs.
future stars of this business.
Yes.
As I've identified two great trainers.
And of course, being a promo guy, we could definitely help people on the mic.
Yes, indeed.
So it could be one epic time, Santa. If you could just make that dream come true, that would be epic.
Well, Santa can only do so much, but I will do my level best.
Just a little bit of fairy dust, man.
We'd love
The
that.
most I can give you is magic flying feet.
It's better than Claymore, man, I'm telling you.
Definitely.
With that being said, what else is on the list?
Well, I have Santa Claus here. We have a few days before he has to go to work. Santa can make some limited appearances. If you want Santa Claus to appear, have pictures with your family, which we've done today, both
Yes.
my family and the Paradise family here.
Yes.
We are looking at a couple of other places. We are receiving some messages about, hey, can you bring Santa here? If you want to request that, hit us up on the Stranglehold Entertainment page or the Paradise Customs page, and we'll see if we can accommodate. And let us know if you have any special wishes from the man himself.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, man, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food, believe it or not, and a lot of people be like, you're probably a sweets man. No, I'm not. I only like to eat sweets on Christmas Eve because if you went on a 12-hour sleigh ride, had to literally take time and space continuum and just make time slow down, if not for a few minutes, you tend to fall asleep too. And that is not good to fall asleep at the sleigh.
No.
You do not, I repeat, you do not want to fall asleep at the sleigh. So Santa, believes it or not, milk makes you go to sleep.
I agree 100%.
So Santa, believe it or not, likes spicy beef jerky, hot wings, and cocoa.
Now, which type of hot wings? You told me earlier.
Fiery mango habanero wings from Taco Mac.
Taco
Ooh.
Mac, that's actually a local restaurant around
It
here.
is.
So
It
you're
is.
telling me every time you get to crave your hot wings, you fly all the way to the south for them?
No, I have flying Uber elves.
That is awesome.
True.
So,
And you have your occasional manager of champions drop by just in case
Of
they're
course.
occupied.
The manager of champions, Eric Nelson, he likes to get a one-way flight, first class, paid by Santa, to the North Pole, and he'll come and stay a week with me. And to get away from the hot Georgia sun during the summer months. And
Absolutely.
he likes to get into the hot tub. I tell him that's where I stay during the summertime since I can't come down here to the south.
I go there in the wintertime because, you know.
We should trade places.
Sometimes, yeah.
So did you say hot tub?
Yes,
Santa has a hot tub?
I do.
Does Mrs.
It's
Claus get in
19 by
there?
19.
19 by 9. Perfect. Does Mrs. Claus join you?
Yes.
Alright, so you told me you were going to show me some pictures of her. You never got around to it. How's she looking these days?
I don't know. You tell me.
Whoa.
Goodness gracious.
Somebody should be on the naughty list, Mr. Claus.
She loves candy cane.
I bet you she does.
Based on that picture, I think she would anyone.
Yeah, it looked like it.
That is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's your favorite drink, Santa?
Believe it or not, Monster Loco Moco.
That's a very good choice.
I don't really like
That's actually one of my favorites.
I don't like the monsters. It gives me the jitters, but man, I can understand why because I tried them. They are awesome. Is it because you're constantly go, so you get to stay on your toes?
I only sleep 8 hours a year.
8 hours a year.
Well, he is a party animal, I gotta tell you.
Well, you saw Mrs. Claus there, of course.
Well,
he is.
yeah, I mean, of course, you know, and I've gone up there one way, and you know, he's had me.
Do what?
Yeah, he sent me out to with some of his special helpers to come assist me in my hot tub experience. But you know, that was my younger, more wilder days. Now I'm settled down with because gentlemen prefer Scotch, right?
Listen, man, I am married to the Queen of Paradise, and I'm telling you, I'm still okay with coming trying out that hot tub. If you're watching, honey, just let you know, you can come too. I don't mind.
Well, we all know the Pinup Queen of the Universe likes to go join me from time to time. Isn't that right?
Just make sure as you cross over the Aurora Borealis, do not get caught by the Miser brothers.
All right.
Believe it or not, they are real. Heat miser and snow miser. As soon as I came down here, that's one reason Santa's sweating so hard right now. It's not because I'm in the South and because I'm in a suit. I promise you that is not the case. The reason why Santa is hot is because as soon as I drove that sleigh down the middle of the Aurora Borealis, the next thing you know, Santa sees big fireballs getting shot down in front of his sled.
Whoa.
Heat miser was going after snow miser yet again.
Goodness.
They're always arguing.
So, all right. So we asked you your favorite food, your favorite drink. You love hot wings, man. Is there anything else that people should know about Santa? And before we go any further, if you're watching at home, remember Santa doesn't necessarily like milk and cookies. He's a huge fan of hot wings. Huge, huge fan. All right. So real quick, since you guys are watching at home, and I'm going to get a little bit closer to you guys. Santa, we have a huge tournament going on in the Voice of Honor on the Facebook page, Wrestling Boiler Room.
Which is an awesome age, by the way.
Let's hype that up real quick, if you don't mind.
Of course not.
All the latest news on wrestling, promo competition, and spicy photos of divas and any of the other dirt from today is all broadcast right there in the Wrestling Boiler Room. It gets steamy. But as you know, because I'm sure you're a fan of the page,
Yes, I am.
we are about to start the Voice of Honor V1 tournament, and we're going to crown a brand new King of Promos champion. And that's about this right next to you.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen.
So, with that being said, do you have any picks of who you want to see win that thing? It's a winner-take-all tournament.
Well, sorry about your damn luck, but I have to go for Alpha or the Clown Drag Neo.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna take that as a compliment. You guys know who the clown is at home, so thank you, Santa, for that. That just made my day. Thank you so much.
See, I told you, you were all worried about that.
I'm a huge fan, brother. I'm a huge fan.
I thought he was gonna say something like off the walls crazy, like Sweet or Ricka Wildly or something like that. But man, that made my day. Thank you, Santa.
I'm here for you, man.
I appreciate
You've been on
it.
the good list this year, so we're all for it.
If you guys are listening at home, he said I was on the good list. Y'all remember that, okay?
Yeah, remember that.
Yes.
All right, so that's all I have at the moment. Eric, do you have anything else?
All I can say is, let's have a good Christmas this year. Let's get this year over with, for Pete's sakes.
Yes.
Let's hope 2021 is way better than 2020.
Amen. Yes.
And that is definitely on my wish list, and that's definitely something I hope I can pull out of the hat. So, with that being said, stay safe, stay blessed, and have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.